What's good, everybody? My name is Wanalena Imarumula, and you're watching Rev Network TV. Welcome to the first episode of our newest solo sports podcast. So, basically, what we're going to be doing throughout this podcast is looking at what happened the previous week and discussing some of the most interesting things that happened in South African football the previous week, right? So, during out this whole process, I'm gonna be inviting you guys who are the viewers to be part of this whole experience by sharing your thoughts. I'm gonna ask you to share your thoughts each and every single week so that I can include them in this video. So without any further ado, let us just start. The past week was filled with the Kalim Black Label knockout challenge, rather. So I think it was the opening of the Kalim Black Label, so there was a lot of action. So most of the things that I'm going to be talking about today are based on that whole Kalim Black Label thing. But to open up about Kalim Black Label, one of the fun fact about Kalim Black Label the previous weekend is that we had over 25 goals scored in the opening, which is very big. There were a lot of goals this weekend, which means South African football is really picking up and it's starting to be enjoyable again. The first segment of the show, it's called Match of the Week. This is whereby we talk about the match that surprised all of us, that, it hit us by surprise. We are not expecting the outcomes. We are not expecting the gameplay and everything. So this week's match of the week, the previous week's match of the week undoubtedly goes to SuperSport versus Kaizer Chiefs because it was an absolute stunner. Nobody expected Kaizer Chiefs to dominate the way it dominated and the form that they showed. So without any doubt, it definitely goes to Kaizer Chiefs because a lot of people had given up on Kaizer Chiefs. A lot of fans, not the fans actually, the competition who are Orlando Pirates fans, Sundowns fans, and all that. It's great that the Kaizer Chiefs fans have always stayed consistent in supporting their team. So their support has finally paid off. Their patience really paid off. A lot of people, we who are not Kaizer Chiefs fans, we doubted Kaizer Chiefs and we believed that it was the end of Kaizer Chiefs. We believed that Kaizer Chiefs was never going to dominate the game. So them, winning over SuperSport, which is one of the biggest teams in South Africa as we speak. SuperSport has been a big team for quite some time. Them winning over SuperSport in a way that they won, I believe I posted during the week that it's a moment that should be celebrated in South African football, not only by Kaizer Chiefs fans but by football fans at large, because it shows a pivotal moment in South African football. It's the competition that we've been craving for as football fans, because South African football kind of looked like it was dormant and it wasn't moving. We expected Sundowns to win each and every single game. We expected, Orlando Pirates to win some of the games, and we had gave up on Kaizer Chiefs. So it was like that. It was like it's something that has already been decided. So seeing Kaizer Chiefs dominate the way they dominated, it gave a lot of us, more especially the Kaizer Chiefs fans, that love back of football. So that's our match of the week. From here, the second segment of the show, it's called Top 5 Talking Points, meaning these are 5 points that a lot of people were talking about throughout the whole weekend. These are the 5 pointers that people came with after watching everything that transpired the past week. I'm talking about things that are trending. I'm talking about things that are shocking. I'm talking about things that we don't agree with. So the first one definitely has to be Orlando Pirates exit. Because Orlando Pirates was knocked out by Magezi FC, which was the biggest upset of the past weekend. It was unexpected. I know a lot of us didn't know of Magezi FC until this previous weekend. So seeing a team that nobody knew about beating one of South Africa's giant was a very big upset. A lot of us are still recovering from that whole situation, and I know it's gonna take some time for us to get peace and finally accept that Orlando Pirates was knocked out that easily by an upcoming team, whilst they are one of South Africa's biggest teams. That's a very upsetting moment. Then the other talking point obviously has to be Kaizer Chiefs. Nobody expected Kaizer Chiefs to win the way that they did. So that's point number 2. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I just made a whole, conversation about it. Then from there, we're going to go to Sundowns. It wasn't a surprise to see Sundowns scoring the way that they score, because Actually, it was a surprise because Sundowns hasn't been performing that way in a minute. We haven't seen Sundown being as dominant as they were the past weekend in a while. I argued a few weeks back that is it the end of Sundowns after they were struggling to make it in the MTN8 competition. So I kind of felt like maybe it was the end of Sundowns, but it wasn't only based on the previous MTN8 competition. They haven't been performing the way that they were performing. They've been struggling to. I remember they had a very tough match with Polokwane City and they managed to win through an own goal, right? So at that moment, I kind of thought that it was the end of Sundowns, that maybe we might be seeing another giant in South African football. I was kind of thinking that it was going to be Orlando Pirates, me being an Orlando Pirates fan myself, not to be biased. But unfortunately, it seems like we might be getting the same Sundowns that we've been getting, maybe even better, because they dominated and trashed Golden Arrows, scoring 5 goals, while Golden Arrows scored none. So, let us go. Number 4, obviously, has to go to Stellenbosch, which won against Amazulu. So meaning that they have a shot at winning this year's Kalim Black Label Cup. I think yeah, they have a chance of winning again this year. If I'm not wrong, you guys will correct me in the comment section. I think they are the defending champions of the Kalim Black Label Cup. If they are not, you'll correct me. I'm up for corrections and stuff like that. So they continued to win against Amazulu, meaning that they are a step forward in defending the title, in winning the Kalim Black Label Knockout Cup. Then the last talking point of the week has to go to TS Galaxy's victory. So TS Galaxy was playing against Chiba United, right? And they were down one man, meaning that one of them got a red card, and they had to play with 10 men, 9 inside, including the goalkeeper. But despite that whole thing, they managed to beat Chiba United and they came out victorious. So which is something that should be a talking point, definitely. I mean, how can you get beat by 9 guys, while you guys are 10 in the field? But it's football, anyways. You never know. It's unpredictable. That's the fun part of it. From here, we are gonna go to another segment. Forgive me for calling out this segment as time goes. That's the only way that I can have structure, because I'm gonna struggle if I don't call them out as time goes. So this segment is called Player of the Week. And I'm going to give you guys 2 seconds to guess who the player of the week is. Okay. Your time is up, so I'm just going to tell you. So this player of the week, it's not the overall player of the week in PSL or whatever. It's player of the week in this platform, meaning it's Rev Network TV's player of the week. We have our own things here. We don't, meaning if you see somebody else saying player of the week is so and so, don't just attack us. We have our own reasons why we choose the player that we have chose. So this week's player of the week has to go to Mduduzi Shabalala from Kaizer Chiefs, because Shabalala was instrumental in Chiefs' massive win, pulling strings in midfield and assisting one of the goals. His energy and creativity were vital to their performance, as according to me. Shout out to Kaizer Chiefs again. They showed us that you can never know. Do not give up on a person who's still alive. I don't know how they say it in Setswana, but they just say in Setswana. So that's the player of the week. Now we are gonna go to the fans, right? I posted about this whole idea of this brand new show where I do recaps of the previous week, and actually, I think there's actually one comment that stood out. I think that might be the only comment in the post, if I'm not wrong. And he was talking about, he said I should talk about the offside. Yeah, you remember when Orlando Pirates was playing Magezi the previous weekend? We saw a moment where we thought Orlando Pirates had equalized. Kanti, it was ruled as an offside. So a lot of people are not happy with the ref's decision, even though it was the linesman who called the offside. But people are still not happy with it. So, the fans are quite divided over the offside. Some, against Patrick Maswangai, in the 95th minute of their match against Magesi. Some believe that it was a correct decision, pointing out that the linesman call was correct and within the rules of the game. Others, however, feel that it was controversial. It was a controversial call and believe it denied Pirates a chance to equalize. Now, football is one game that causes emotions to be high. So it's safe to say emotions were very high in this particular game. And that's because, it was an opportunity for Orlando Pirates to kind of advance. They only needed one goal to take it to the penalty. No, not to the penalties. I'm going to extra time. They only needed one goal to, take it further. So that's where a lot of people. That's why a lot of people are mad, because that offside cost Pirates an opportunity to advance, or an opportunity to try and fight off the defeat that they had. So they believe that it was controversial. I know in a lot of instances people tend to believe that the refs and everything, they are paid, because in the past games people believe that Orlando Pirates was paying referees. Now the tables have turned. Orlando Pirates think the other teams are paying referees. So I'm gonna leave this with you guys. Do you think the call was justified? Was it right to call the offside at that point? For me, I feel like it was the correct call. Although I am a follower of Orlando Pirates, I did see that he was, offside. And somebody argued that we need VAR quickly to prevent, this type of debates, this type of conversations. But, still talking about this whole thing, there's a video that I'd like to share with you guys of one Kaizer Chiefs supporter who was apparently at the stadium while Orlando Pirates was losing. And if you can look at the video closely, you will see that she is celebrating in the middle of Orlando Pirates fans, and she is the only one wearing a Kaizer Chiefs t-shirt. So check out the video, then we'll be back. Now, moving on, we are going to go to a segment called the underrated gem of the previous week. And that, without a doubt, has to go to Magesi FC, because their win over Pirates deserves more credit. Coming from a lesser known side, Magesi showed grit and composure, pulling off one of the biggest wins in the club's history. So that, without a doubt, is our underrated gem of the week. Now we are going to go to the predictions for this week, because we have a few games lined up this week. We have Kaizer Chiefs versus Mamelodi Sundowns. This is two big teams who are clashing now. It's very hard to predict, so I'm just gonna think about it. Think about this whole predictions. Now my predictions are not accurate. That's just how I feel based off the previous performances. Looking at Kaizer Chiefs, remember that Kaizer Chiefs was playing one of the biggest teams in South Africa, and they managed to secure a very big win. So to me, that kind of seems like an advantage. I feel like they might win over Sundowns this coming week. They might win against Sundowns. So between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns, my prediction is Kaizer Chiefs might come out victorious. I'm not sure of the score. I cannot predict the score, but that's my prediction. Then we have Richards Bay versus Cape Town City. Now I'm gonna go with Cape Town City this time. They might have an edge based off their form. So also I'm gonna ask you guys to share your predictions in the comment section. Between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns, let me know what are you predicting. Between Richards Bay and Cape Town City, let me know what are your predictions. So this is gonna be the end of our show today, ending with the question: what are your predictions for upcoming game? Who do you think is going to come out victorious between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns? Who do you think is going to come out victorious between Richards Bay and Cape Town City? I'm going to leave that to you. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. See you guys next week, Monday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace.